Hello, everyone. My name is Huang. I graduated from Beijing University of Chinese Medicine. I have been in Chinese medicine clinic for nearly 40 years, 8 years in China, and the rest of years in Denmark in my own clinic. Huang Neijing is the most important and the fundamental doctrinal source for Chinese medicine for more than 2,000 years. Let's make it simple. Quote it as Neijing in my speech today. There is a very famous message from this book. In Chinese, it sounds like this, 治未病, which means literally to treat the disease before it happens. It sounds quite funny for us, isn't it? The real meaning of this sentence has nothing to do about treatment, but to be close to nature. Live following nature's law, like all the rest of creatures, so we could be healthy automatically and no need of treatment at all. Currently, most of people are used to being sick. It's naturally for us to see a doctor when we are ill. But in Neijing's era, to see a doctor was something new and fashionable, but not so naturally. That was not tradition. Well, to treat disease before it happens or to treat disease after it happens. Neijing's author wrote these two possibilities or let people choose. If they chose the second one, as normally people now to see a doctor when they get ill, that's just like they begin to dig a well when they feel thirsty. It is too late, isn't it? Neijing's author said. At Neijing's era, there are some people still following the laws of nature, maintaining the old lifestyle. Their life was not so exciting but peaceful. Their life sometimes was not so comfortable, but they have used to it and feel satisfied with it. The most important thing is that they were healthy. But more and more people at that time wanted to lead a more civilized life or to be more comfortable and more exciting. For example, they start to drink alcohol. They didn't care about natural laws anymore. They didn't even care about sickness. They prefer to see doctors when they were sick. That's the reason doctors of traditional Chinese medicine had already become an important social occupation at Neijing's era. Neijing's author knew that the new lifestyle was the wrong way for human beings. Life could not be endlessly comfortable or exciting. To see doctor couldn't cure disease. It could be even worse. When people's live depending on to see doctor or not depending on their healthy lifestyle, the number of disease would keep increasing. But people knew that, but the author knew that people couldn't recognize this at that time. So the Neijing's author wrote lots of articles in the book to help doctors recognize and deal with disease, to meeting the needs of people at that time, or only wrote 2 articles about healthcare that no one wanted to read at that time. But the author knew that people will repent and re-emphasize a healthy lifestyle again in the future. And at that time, they will be interesting to coming back to read these 2 articles. Not the choice people made in Neijing's era get result. In last 10,000 years, human civilization has brought more than 20,000 different diseases to Chinese people or mankind. Just notice that more than 20,000 different diseases. I believe that if people lived in Neijing's era knew that there are so many diseases their grandchildren will suffer from, they will change their mind, they will keep the old healthy lifestyle still. Now we can better understand the Neijing's author. They are great. That 2 articles about preventive care are great. They were written for us. Now more and more Chinese people will come back to health lifestyle again. And for a few years ago, Chinese government was implementing a healthy strategy for old people. That's named Health China. And the idea quite close to Neijing's author's idea. More healthcare, less treatment. I hope this strategy will be carried out firmly and persistently, perhaps more than 10,000 years. I believe if Chinese people do this, or more and more coming back to the naturally healthy lifestyle, so we can see the most of disease will disappear one by one. I know Chinese people well. They will be successful. Good luck, China. Now it is time, let's talk about some practical thing, preventing of COVID-19. Of course, this discussion involves only a superficial measure. The fundamental measure that's surely about to change human beings' lifestyle. And it will take 100,000 years to see the result. It's too big topic to talk about today. Okay, for preventing COVID-19. First, to keep the upper respiratory tract moist. Sometimes our throat is dry, and if we continue to talk endlessly, so our throat starts to act and then catching a cold. The emission path of cold virus and COVID-19 is the same. First, when the mucosal membrane is dry, the local immune function will be reduced, and the virus will be more aggressive. So there will be nasal obstruction and the sore throat. Further development will result in inflammation of the bronchi and the lungs. So we should keep the upper respiratory tract moist first. I suggest to use a cup of warm black tea, and you put in some pieces of ginger and the cloves. Stew the above in boiling water for 5 minutes, and then you drink it. Don't drink too much, just use it to moisturize your throat. There is an experimental report prove that COVID-19 couldn't survive in tea. And other materials I suggest above has aromatic smell, which may also be effective. Chinese people had good experience to use these things to prevent viruses. Nose should also be kept moist too. I suggest using a little bit bottle of sesame oil. You dip a little sesame oil with cotton swab and apply it into your nose once every 1 or 2 hours. It can effectively keep the nasal mucosal moist. And because the fragrant smell of sesame oil, the virus loses its vitality. Other fragrant essential oil can be used too. Second, you can use a bottle. The opening of the bottle is about 4 to 5 centimeters in diameter. So a small volume is enough. And the bottle cap should be able to be scraped tightly. Put some cloves or coming in it. You're welcome to use other fragrant smell herbs. If you wear a mask frequently, you can take some cloves out of this bottle, put them in with 2 pieces soft and breathable paper, and then put these 2 small pucks in the mask on both sides of the nose. So your mask can keep the fragrance all day long. It is still using the ancient Chinese experience, aromatic, inactive viruses. If you don't usually wear a mask, open the bottle cap when you feel it is necessary and inhale deeply at the opening of the bottle with your nose, like this. Yeah, just do this several times in a row. It can diffuse the aroma throughout the lungs, which might reduce the vitality of virus. Number third, to use professional magnetic products. Yeah, immediately when you feel the symptoms come to the nose and the throat. I have treated hundreds of patients with catch cold in Denmark before. As long as there are symptoms of a sneezing, stuffy nose, and a sore throat on the first day, just notice on the first day, just use this professional magnetic things like this. Cover to the nose. And another part, just cover to the area you get sore throat, like this. You need to keep it in 2 hours, and totally symptoms were disappeared. Just notice that only 2 hours symptoms were totally disappeared. I think this experience can also be used to try to see if it is also effective for COVID-19. Local immune system will work more efficiently because it absorbs a lot of magnetic energy. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you very much.